Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another cast by the Dinosaur on our CastIt. I am, of course, your lovely dashing caster, the Dinosaur. And this is my second one right in a row. I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling like I want to do some casts today. So we're going to check out a couple of these games. A lot of good Masters things just went up. So really enjoy when these higher level games kind of go on. Gives you a little bit more to talk about. Things of that nature. So to start off in the top right, we have Bapor. I hope that's correct. It's, if I'm going to say his clan name, I'd say it's Mitliu Bapor. I think that's going to be, it's going to have to be it. Or maybe it's Mount Lu. Yeah, who knows. And in the bottom left, we have our Zerg player, Risky. We'll have to see if that reflects his style of play. Ha, you see what I did there? Yes, of course. And see, at the beginning of these games, oftentimes I see casts, and I don't want to be one of those people who's going to bore you with every possible variation of what these two could do. You know, whether we'll see a 12 gate, a 13 gate, and the differences between them. A lot of times things like that just don't matter. So at the beginning, I tend to talk about kind of whatever you guys would like. Not a whole lot of things vary in the beginning of these builds, and I don't want you, if you listen to my cast, to hear me talk about the same kinds of variations for openers. You know, it's PvZ. You're gonna get maybe a gateway expand, looks like here, forge fast expand. Oh, assimilator on 15. That's always gonna happen. So yeah, I think today we're gonna hang out. I did just try a new beer recently. It was New Belgium's. I cannot decide. Perhaps one of you can tell me. Is it Roll Bowl, silent E's on the end, or Roly Boly? It is, as such, as I say anonymously, the Dinosaur. He says Roll Bowl or Roly Boly. Personally, I think Roly Boly sounds much better. And one little thing to note, I just kind of liked his building placement here. It spreads him out a little bit, so, you know, Zerglings can be a little bit more annoying, but, you know, keeps a nice wall if he has to wall in or something like that. And not bad. That is one thing worth mentioning in this young PvZ game. And in case I forgot to mention, this is a Masters one. I know I said lots of Masters, but these two guys are as well. So we will have to see if Risky is going to go into any sort of, you know, fast third, etc. It looks like our Protoss player is going to expand. Very basic gateway expand. Dear Elect Watcher, a little bit of an interesting map. These watchtowers all the way over here on the sides, I think they just tend not to be used because most players just take the shortest path right here through the middle. He's going to go right for it, so we shall see what these two players want to do. Really right now, I'd say, I'm a Protoss player by the way. Against Zerg, I like to do, I don't know. In all honesty, it changes from game to game. Been a big fan of like a blink, a +2 blink, a +1, you know, with other with a lot of zealots, stalkers, you know, etc. But we'll have to see. We'll have to wait for the tech structure. I hate expanding. That's probably why I'm bad. I hate getting seconds and thirds, one base, and then people yell at me for being one base. They say, you know, the Dinosaur, you're bad. You shouldn't even be playing. You're doing just one base all-ins all the time. And I say to them, you know, you're probably right. I'm pretty garbage, and this is a good way to mask it. So, yeah, a little bit of confessions going on here. I just, not a huge fan. And now I just gave away my whole strategy on the ladder. So, hopefully none of you will play me, and then this won't even be a big deal. Alright, so it looks like a Robo for Bapor. And, looks like he's going to see it and scout it right away, so he'll know. At least there's Bapor. I don't know where I'm getting the EU in there. Just, maybe it's Bapor? Like Dapper? Bapor? Bapor? Like Vapor? It looks like Vapor. Vapor? God, this is just rough. I'm just going to pick whatever comes to mind whenever I need to say his name, and we'll call that good. So we'll probably see him maybe get an Immortal here if he's saving up, and yes, that's what he is saving up for. This does not appear to be any sort of, you know, parting style Immortal push. He has 2 sentries, but nothing else on the way. So we'll really have to see. Warp Gate's going to finish up here. Just one gate. If this is going to be some sort of Immortal Sentry all in, you will see several gates going up right now. Usually probably an additional 3. I believe Parting usually did it with 6 gates. I did it for a little while. And a little bit of harassment over here. No big deal. This mothership core is being annoying. He is going right into a second immortal, though. Certainly must be expecting something. And the first one will be spotted. And this Overlord creeping in here. Oh, if he sees him make those gates. And he is going to see him. 2 more gates there. I think he's going to wait until he kills that Overlord, and then he's going to make a couple more, unless he makes him in a different location. Now, if he gets a 3rd immortal, if he gets... Oh, there's a Warp Prism. Okay, so it's probably going to be some sort of drop play on this map, especially with this wide open. If he comes down around this way, you can drop here, and you can use a sentry to force field the ramp here. And this mothership core, he needs that to be alive. Getting chased down a little bit by 2 queens. Going to take a little bit of hit point damage, but no big deal. Now, a little bit of a late forge. That's not going to be really pertinent to this attack. So it looks like I don't think he's really going to load up that much. Well, it looks like maybe just an immortal drop. I would like to see the sentry drop, in all honesty. I think it could be very strong here. Especially with all these sentries just kind of sitting around. And another immortal. So he's banking on heavy roach, which luckily for him. Risky seems to be a little bit heavy in roach. Just there's 11 roaches out now. 6 more on the way. So he's going pretty heavy. So we can do a lot of good damage here. Bapor is just going to go ahead and scout around. We'll see if he's just going to come in here. There's not that many drones here, unfortunately. So he's going to reveal 2 immortals and his inclination towards drop play. Just this one Zergling goes out. And here it goes, but... yeah, there's not a whole lot going to get done there. And he's just going to attempt to do a little bit here. It needs to just load up. A lot of times this just isn't worth it. What are you going to do? Take a couple of hit points off here? I mean, a little bit of nice micro here, but it's just simply not worth it. You're not going to get any kills. Being annoying, I guess, if you have the APM to support it, but the only reason you should do that is if you have perfect macro at home. And 4 immortals coming in. He's got a robotics bay up. Meanwhile, for a Zerg player, no sort of tech structures that I can see going down, just the Roach Warren. And he's still just being a little bit annoying here, but really not a whole lot. 9 workers have been killed for our Protoss player. And I'm not actually sure where those... oh, excuse me, Risky has lost 9. I was going to say, I had no idea where those would have come from. I don't recall our Protoss player losing anything, Mr. Bapor. So he's just continuing to be annoying here, but, you know, another queen should come out here. And that will pretty much be the end. Hopefully he'll build another queen. I'm not sure why he wouldn't, especially with the Warp Prism, as dedicated as he seems to be to this harassment. Now, I like this, blocking the 3rd with a creep. It takes a little bit extra time. And Bapor's actually going to go over and scout that. It's right about the time that he wants to start getting that 3rd base or thinking about it. And the Colossi is up. Thermal Lance almost there. +1 on the way. He's got +2 missile attack for our Zerg player. Risky is also going to go into Muta. And he does see the Robo. So that can be a good choice against you know, a heavy Robo combination. Especially with Mr. Warp Prism over here. And if he drops those Immortals out, what are they going to do against Muta? So he's got another 30 seconds left on that. So overall, it's going to be about another minute before those are up. And just a drone kill. And oh, he almost gets caught. And that's what I'm talking about. That is so not worth it. Shouldn't even drop this one as it has no shields or anything. I mean, I appreciate what he's trying to do, but, you know, unless one unit in these cases, or, you know, these units being bruised, I really just don't see it making that big of a difference, even in a Masters game. It doesn't usually tend to really work out that well. And here he might get caught a little bit again. It almost does. He's so close. And finally, Spore Crawler's going down. He says enough is enough. And we'll have to see. I'm waiting for those Mutalisks to see if they'll come out. He has enough for 10 or 11 in terms of gas. He'll ramp up those minerals pretty quickly, especially with better saturation over here as well. Finally, this Warp Prism's going to go home. Best thing for him before those mutas attack. Protoss player is putting up the third base here. I like this nice little wall off, creating just a very similar wall here. He's going to have plenty of gates. Take a look at the structures here. Nothing that I don't think I missed, except Bapor's going into a double robo, and that's basically going to mean he wants a lot of Colossi out pretty quickly. If Muta comes out, he does not have a lot of anti-air. That could be a big problem for him. 5 Stalkers is all, and 7 Sentries help a lot. People oftentimes underestimate how good Sentries are against Muta just because of the Guardian Shield. Now, the Guardian Shield actually cuts 3 damage off of those Mutas, something that a lot of players overlook. And he's going right into Corruptor, which actually, now that I think about it, is a much better choice. This is why I do not play Zerg. And here he's going to chase away that Warp Prism. We'll see here, he will get away. That Warp Prism, that OP speed buff. Not quite, but it will get away. Which will be nice for him. Save those 2 Immortals, as Brisky does have a good amount of roaches. And we'll have to see, it looks like he wants to be a little bit aggressive here. Oh, and those... That's a big hit. Losing that Mothership Core is very annoying. Those Time Warps and things are so helpful. Looks like he's going to push in here. He's just going to go after the Colossi. Losing a lot of Corruptors, not sure I like this. Oh no, he's pulling him right over. I really don't like this for Risky. Now the attack's coming in. He does clear out some of those, but now they're in the back. His force field wall is very good. Vapor's looking in pretty good shape as he has a ton of Immortals left against just Roaches. And he is going to push everything back. And it looks like Risky got a little bit too aggressive there with the Corruptors. I didn't like seeing him just sit over that army. But he is remaxed with 32 Lings and plenty of Roaches. So he's right back up to 30 Roaches. And still 4 Immortals and 2 more for our Protoss player Bapor. And I think that's a very good idea. 4 more Immortals, he's going to go up to 6, and he knows that those Corruptors are out, and he just doesn't have who needs to deal with it. And this is an interesting choke point. The Immortals are in the front. That actually does help Risky with some good targeting. He targets a couple of them down. Let's see if he gets this one here, and he does target that one down, but more coming out, and he's on the ramp. He's got a good concave at the bottom here. These Corruptors being flying paperweights, and look at this excellent concave. He's pushing through. He's going to see if he can snipe an Immortal. But he decides to pull off, and this is when you might want to think about trying to hit this third base. Not currently, but if he remaxes a little bit, gets some more units out. This door is wide open, so a speedling run by here could be excellent. He could attack the Nexus, not take any damage. That Protoss player wouldn't dare cross this little ravine if the Zerg has control of it. Look at this Warp Prism did come in. No real damage done, no workers killed. And while that looks heavily in the favor of Bapor, bippity bappity beeper bra, it's been pretty even. Let's take a look at the units lost, and yeah, that's the real story. The resources lost, the Protoss player, not nearly as many actual units going down, but plenty more resources lost, and especially the bigger economy for a Zerg player. One thing I should have commented on earlier is this creep spread is excellent, all the way over almost to both watchtowers and right on the front door of the Protoss player. And this looks like too many Lings. He's not going to get the surface area that he needs, and a little bit of botched force fields here. Definitely could have been better. And again, not very good control. It looks like he has those on a different hotkey than what he has the rest of his army. Those Corruptors just kind of hung out front. That's just not a good idea. Oh, and we'll see these Dark Templar, and they're for sure going to force a cancel. Very nice move. I really like that. And up here, he's going to go with 4 Zealots. Try to pull the army down here. Meanwhile, looks like he's going to drop in. He's going to get Hydras into the mix, which will help a lot, especially against these Immortals, because they attack very quickly. They don't take the extra damage. Let's see what he can get done here. I mean, Bapor's doing well, except that he just cannot move out from this choke. I don't really like the Zerg attacking in here. Great force fields. He's going to eliminate every single one of these Zerglings. And now, at this point, you've got to pull back if you're Risky. You just don't have the attack angle anymore. You lost so much. And now he's getting chased back. That's so bad for him. As soon as you saw those Lings, the Lings are a lost cause. Continue with them attacking, pull everything back. There's no reason for them. And these Dark Templar, There is no Overseer in sight. He's got 5 on the map, but none really close to his army. And I like this. He's switching back into Colossi after he knows that he just took down so many of Risky's Corruptors. It's a very good move, and that Warp Prism falls instantly. But that's a great move. I love him getting back into Colossi here. He's already got 1, making 2 more. Hopefully he's going to have another 2 more queued up immediately following. And let's see if he does. It doesn't look like he's started a second one. We'll keep an eye on that. Doesn't quite have the resources, but it's a very good idea, as that will help really torch this army. And again, he's got a Dark Templar, and where are the Overseers? Finally, a little bit late to the party. And this is a good move by Bapor, pulling back. He sees that the army just kind of stood there, and he knows he's not just going to sit there and take it. So he moves back. He's going to kind of run away a little bit here. Now, if the Zerg player can establish an arc kind of in this sort of formation, you can really cut the Protoss player off from his third base. Maybe get an attack here. You'll see he's going in. He can't attack into this. There's so many good tech units here. Now that he's getting out into the open, oh, that is what Risky needs to do. If he can draw him out into the creep spread area, that would be so clutch for him. He's smart. He's looking for a 4th base as he's sending a Zealot over to check. Meanwhile, our Zerg player is on 4 bases. He's getting a Spine and a Spore to check for those Dark Templar. Another Dark Templar is down here hanging out, and he will send his whole army down here after it. Dark Templar makes a quick and hasty retreat. And we see Vipers coming out for our Zerg player. That's a very nice move. Bapor might think about going into Sky Toss just a little bit. We will have to see what exactly is going on here. So our Zerg player hold up at the 5th base. Looks like he's going to attempt to take a little bit more of an economy lead. He's got the 4th up. Our Protoss player just has no other options. He's eventually going to get up this 4th, but it's going to be so late. He has mined out in the main. He has almost mined out his natural, and he's just oversaturated down here. He's just running out of options. We'll take a look at the income. You can see very far in the favor of Risky in terms of minerals, so he's got a good mineral dump there. We'll see if maybe he starts to make a fine car roll. Oh, and I missed the start of a battle. Oh, no. It looks like I got here pretty much in time. Most of these Corruptors made quick work. And again, Risky, not the best concave. He needs to get more Zerglings. Once kind of his front unit dies, Hydras do great against this type of army composition, but only if there are Zerglings to kind of buffer the damage. Just like you need Zealots in the Protoss army. You need those Zerglings or Roaches in the front. Roaches especially. Oh, and a great snag up the cliff. Absolutely great yoink. Been practicing his Awesome Knots or his Dota, depending on which game you like. I like this Mactor hatch used also for an energy sink. He's going to come up here and he's going to get stuck. These Lings, see how many units, if they can stick any in here, if he can surround an Immortal, that would be really nice for him. And it looks like he might. Oh no, and these Corruptors again going in too far. They can take so much damage if he flies over the Archons, which he does. Oh, but he finds a lone Colossi, and that's nice, but he lost a good amount. His Corruptor control definitely needs work, and here, just too many Hydralisks. You know, it's nice to have Hydras. They have such great DPS in large numbers, but you really want Roaches or Zerglings that are really going to soak up a lot of the damage. If you get, you know, things like Zealots pulled in here, it's pretty tough. And these Vipers worth their weight in gold as they are just yanking away this Protoss player, all his expensive units. Now he's just simply down. He's down to just gateway units, but he's got a ton of Dark Templar here. He's got 8 of them, and it's pushing back our Zerg player, making mistakes by, look at this, too many Hydralisks, not enough of those kind of damage-soaking units, and he's kind of stopped his creep spread, which would be really nice to get going again, and just not traveling with enough Overseers. If he loses this game, it's going to be very devastating, as he really does have a commanding lead. You'll have to see. I have a package here. Oh, goodness gracious. I think this is my Chromecast, ladies and gentlemen. Ordered it, and I am extremely excited about the proposition. You know what? I'm going to wait. I'm gonna hold off for you, the viewers. I will not open this, because then I'll be completely distracted. Probably as far as upgrades, Protoss player sticking on that 1-3 that he's had for a while. Zerg player at 2-2, soon to be 2-3, which right now just bumped up to 2-3. Getting some more Corruptors in the mix. I love these Vipers. They have been so clutch for him. No kills on him, but that is really not their goal. They don't even measure kills, in fact. And good movement around with these Overseers. And a Protoss player really needs to think about, you know, potentially going into some sort of Sky Toss composition to help deal with these Corruptors. He's got so many Hydralisks, though. Oh, and great pulls. Absolutely phenomenal. Gets every single one. And now just going to push through. He's just Stalkers against Hydralisk. And this may be the end. If he gets this base, Bapor simply has nothing left. And I'm pretty sure he's going to GG any second here. Oh, Risky, why are you pulling back? Now is your time. He's got no tech units. He's just got this little tiny army. Now should be your time. You should have pushed in and taken that 4th base. It's the only thing keeping Bapor alive. Oh, I cannot believe that he's pulling back right now, especially pulling back so far, all the way home. Wasn't even any attack or anything. I thought I might have missed one, but no such luck. He's going to remax, and again, now, finally, Bapor gets 2 Colossi and an Archon out, and he's working on it. His income is actually higher now than Risky's. That should tell you. I'm trying to see if he's got any misplaced drones. No, he's just kind of out, and he's just, oh, way oversaturated up here. Really needs to get this base up, which he will, but he needs to push in. If he lets Bapor continue to max up, they're going to actually equal each other in army supply. Oh, this is so bad for a Zerg player. Oops, hitting sound, trying to look for the supply. The active force, just look at that. That tells the tale right there. Look at how much he has invested in his army. These 2 army compositions. Now he's got 4 Colossi out. Oh, Risky, if you lose this, it will be nothing but your own fault, my good sir. Bapor's doing a smart thing. He knows this 4th base is everything he's got. He's staying in a good concave. The Zerg player is just kind of hanging out. Not really quite sure what he's doing. So you see the effective actions per minute. The Zerg player, neither one of these players particularly high. Keeping their overall APM pretty well. Although that is really not any great indication of how good a player is. And rightfully, he's got the Spore Crawler and Spine Crawler up here, so this Dark Templar won't do anything. He's got a group of Zealots going around. He should have been doing these a little bit earlier. I'm not quite sure who will win between these Lings here. He's got Changelings there. We'll have to see this battle. A super intense Ling on Zealot battle. Zealots get a free one, and if they form up, I think they're going to take care of them. Oh, easily. I was way off. I made myself look foolish there. And we'll have to see. Oh, this is a great position for Bapor, but does he have the army supply? Grabbing that Morphing Archon, and again, these Corruptors are getting a little bit far ahead of themselves, and he can't attack down that ramp. I love this 1 sentry for the Guardian Shield. That's a great move. Oh, and he goes in, and the Vipers all go down. He does grab 2 Colossi. We'll call it about even. And he's going to get the last one. And this is where Risky needs to push. You need to push in at this point. He's got nothing. Get down the ramp. Good Blinding Cloud going down. I love that. Oh, and the Immortals are in the front. There is 1 more Colossi, but these Corruptors should target that down. They're already there. It does go down. Oh, and this is pretty close back and forth. We'll see which player can reinforce better. Both of them on relatively low economy. Hold them down to about a 2-base economy, as neither player can establish their next base. Oh, in this game, look at the supplies as have evened out. Oh, and if Bapor, if he's going to do the killing blow, if he can take out this base, oh, Risky's in so much trouble. He's going to just try to snipe down the Nexus. Risky, meanwhile, going for a flank, attacking from all sides. And it looks like he will get a pretty good surround. We'll see if he can kill this army. Oh, Bapor knows that he's in big-time trouble now. And which way will this go? He's going to try to blink past, but only 2 make it out alive. And now Risky absolutely has to attack. If he does not attack, he loses the game. His income is just garbage. His economy is in shambles, just tatters. He needs to push through, and he won the army battle. And now this is where you kind of get to that tipping point, and Bapor is going to GG out. And he says close, but Risky never, ever should have let that game be that close. Because he won, I'm assuming he's the one who sent it in. So Risky, if you're watching this, please, I beg of you, if you're looking back on your analysis here, I'm going to try to find where that battle was. And here it is a little bit. Here's the beginning of that first little skirmish. Here's a good place so we have something to look at. And look at your supply right now. The supply difference, and then you lost, and then you came back right now. Now pause. 80 supply up. You're 80 supply up. Your army supply. We're well above them. Double in minerals, double in gas. Not quite double in gas, but close enough to illustrate my point. And then you grab these Archons here beautifully. And look at this right now. If you had one Overseer with this army, this game is over from here. Completely over. There's just one Colossi coming in. But instead you had to run back because of all of those Dark Templars, which had been on the map for a while. As if things continue on, you max out again. Then you go for another beautiful push here, which I really enjoy. I mean, I believe this is where you had just epic ganks with these Vipers. And here we go, 1, 2, and 3. There they are. And that's just such a beautiful job. You get the Corruptor. Look at this right here. You pull back, and it is 11 Stalkers and a Colossi out of range against 46 Hydras. None of the rest even matters, just that number alone. And what happens is you pull back and away and out. And you never go in. You could destroy him right now. You could probably let these Dark Templar kill all of your Hydras. But instead, until you attacked again, you waited, I think it was a good 2 minutes or so. At least a minute has gone by. And this is when he got his army up. And you're lucky that you ended up winning, but you had a stranglehold on this game, and then you let him get back in. Your army just didn't improve at all, and then he evened the supply. He evened supply with a pretty decent composition, and then you attacked in, so he had the defender's advantage as well. And, you know, next time I really think you should attack in when you have such a massive supply lead. I didn't even notice these Zealots here killing that base. It was annoying, but you had the opportunity. You should have taken it, but regardless, you still won. So hopefully you guys enjoyed my analysis there. I will maybe cast another tonight. We shall see. Not quite sure if I'm feeling saucy enough for that. But that is yet another game under my belt. I have enjoyed doing these a whole bunch. They're a lot of fun. So please leave comments, questions, things if I should, you know, stop doing something. I have no idea. Just anything you can do to help me improve these casts. They are for all of you guys. So with that, thank you and good night.